like what I see coming out of FX. They've definitely, without a doubt, got a tightly knit squad. You know, they remind me like of the Chicago Bulls. It's like everyone on their squad has got a talent or a skill that they're bringing to the table.
We the men with the style. Everywhere we go, you've seen it. You see it in the books, in the mags. You see all that shit. I went to Berlin, everybody's writing like T-Kid. He went all over the place, and everywhere he went, they're all writing like Sess. I mean, you know, that goes to tell you something, man, you know? Kids know where the style is at.
The FX crew, artists that like old friends that just got together and formed like a big movement, you know? Now we have people from Germany, all over, Puerto Rico, all over the world.
The thing about New York is, it always has a certain attraction coming back. It's like the atmosphere, it's like the knowledge, you know, everything started around the corner here. And still doing something like a train here is still one of the top aims German writers have. They come over just for doing that, just one train, probably one wall, but that's like the dream of their life, being here and doing it.
Lumit, he's definitely one of the most motivated, never tired individuals I've ever met.
Can you believe it? Coke doing the production with FX after like 2 years? Ooh, with the infamous Lumit.
Graffiti, especially like more the graffiti art we're doing, is something that really keeps you alive. I mean, you're doing something which is a very positive thing. It brings people together, shows them also a direction to go. I mean, that's not something you waste your life.
If I wasn't writing graffiti, I'll tell you straight up, I'll be selling drugs, either probably be in and out of jail, or probably be killed by now.
Where I came from, man, this is all we had, man. You know, I didn't have them G.I. Joes and good toys and all that shit everybody else grew up with. I had to steal my spray paint, man, and go scribble on a fucking wall, man. It's tough to make it from the ghetto, from down there at the bottom, man. You know, I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I suffered drug addiction, all kind of shit, you know? And through my art, I made it, man.
I don't have any other hobbies. Graph is my life. It's what I do. I meet people from overseas with it. It matters to me the way the walls come out. I coordinate this and coordinate that and get down with Seth, Snow, T-Kid, and a few other people. We got Scene painting here with us today. He's one of the guys I definitely looked up to.
I used to wake up in the morning, look out the window and shit, and I used to see like different names, man. The Man 550, A1, Tracy 168, Phase 2. That's a long time ago, man. And I said, man, I want to do that, man. You know, I want to put my name on a train. I mean, I remember one time I pulled out a burner, right? I pulled it out in the 137th Street layup on the one train between 137 and 145th. And people looked at my shit roll into the station and they started clapping when that train came in. The whole car that I did, you know, top to bottom style shit, man. I wanted to get up and tell people, yo, man, I did that, but couldn't do that, you know what I'm saying? Because I would have got busted or whatever. But that was a good feeling, man, you know what I'm saying?
One day, I was coming from the Bronx and we had a lot of fun and I was on the train. I was coming home by myself this time and I was taking the 4 train into the last stop. When I got off the train, I remember the conductor saying, this is the last stop, everybody off. And I got off the train, the doors closed, and I started walking and just something like, yo, turn around. I turned around and looked. And it was like this whole car, man, with Butch and Case. I was like, this shit is it.
You know, growing up in New York, you know, you couldn't help but see, you know, the writing on the walls and the trains running all the time, and you wondered, you know, who the hell was doing that there? When you started to see, it was people you went to school with, people around the neighborhood and stuff like that, and they were into it, and they were somebody in it. You know, you begin to learn and take advantage of what you had around you. And being an artist, you know, I kind of lended myself to that.
My boy brought a black book over my house, and that was it. He showed me one piece that an older writer from around my way had done, and that was it. That shit just stuck with me, you could say. You know, I'm still doing it now, like 10, 11 years later.
Graph used to take every minute of my life. When I was writing graph, I'll tell you, when I was writing graph, I doodled and scribbled on anything and everything. While I was on the phone, when I was in school, all I did was practice graph. On the way to school, all I did was look at graph. It was the bomb back in the day to just bomb and have your name all over the place and be known and be spoken about.
I was always doing paintings. I was always painting and doing art and stuff. And a lot of people I know, graffiti writers, come to art through graffiti as far as doing paintings and stuff like that. I was doing paintings, I was doing drawings and everything. Then I went into graffiti because I thought it was really cool.
I wondered, you know, who was doing that? Why was it there? There was no point of reference. There was no such thing as writers that I heard of back then, you know? No magazines, nothing like that. It was just you had to go out there and find out who these people were, what they were doing, what it was all about. And just the mystery and the freedom of it all attracted me.
Like when I was younger, you know, it was really hard for me to make friends, you know, and you know, I found that through graffiti, I was meeting everybody, and the better you got, the more people you met, and people just started to look up to you, you know, and I guess that's a major reason why I'm still going today, is because, you know, I like the fact that a lot of people look up to me. I'm like a role model, you know.
You know, I love graffiti, man. I ain't gonna front. I ain't gonna say, you know, it's something for kids and stuff like that. I'm a grown man. I'm 35 years old. To me, graffiti, man, is an art form. It's an expression. It's an expression of who you are. And graffiti is an expression of oneself, man. So until it's recognized by the whole world that it is art, you know, that's where I want to see it go. You know, that's where I want to see it go, to where it's something positive. You know, where people really, you know, acknowledge it as art.
It was early in the 1990s, 91, 92, that Per, Cess, T-Kid, and the rest of us began painting together on a regular basis, either as a collective group or everybody on separate missions, what have you. But I think it was Per that had the vision of actually forming a crew. It was probably around 1993 when we were all together at Webster Park in the schoolyard, and the whole crew was there painting together. And I remember this clearly, like the pieces were like just about finished. And Per was like, yo, this is it. Today's the day. We got to start a crew. Yo, Pose, what's up? What's up with a name? At the time, the radio was playing. And yo, my head was bobbing. I was like, yo, that's it. FX. Snapping necks with some live effects, because that's what the crew represents, yo. Everything we do, boom, people gonna wanna see it. They're gonna break their neck to check it out. And no joke, man, I'm telling you, within a week's time, it was like FX was on the map. All over New York, people was like, yo, what's up with FX?
They're good. They really are good.
Oh, yeah.
They are good. I love it. I was born in Brooklyn, and I seen the beginning of it. I just think it's great. It really tells a story. And I relate to it, and you just don't have to be, you know, a street guy to relate to it. You know, you get a guy like Vinny that can run 15 offices in one of the largest meat distribution companies, and he relates to it. If he can relate to it, anybody can relate to it.
I think more people should understand it and really appreciate it. Graffiti is an art form that's open to the people. If you look at it and you see it from your heart, it's something that's beautiful. He puts in the feeling or the emotion of a story, and you come out with something that says, wow. Only you don't have to go to a gallery to see it. You don't have to pay to see it. It's open to the people. It's for the people. I look at the painting of this and I see the ducks. It flies in. It's by the artist Philip Crow. I love it. I really do, but it's very limited. When I see the graffiti painting, I see it taking me on an adventure. I start here and I wind up there. There's very few mediums that do that for me. Most mediums you fixate on, and that's what you see. Graffiti art, it's like, wow, I just walked down the road.
There's nothing like the trains, you know? I mean, painting on a wall is all good and stuff, you know, you get busy. But the real deal is, man, you know, the trains is like that rush, man, that adrenaline that you get, you know, from not knowing if you're gonna get busted or whatever, you know? I remember when they tried putting the dogs, man, in the foreyard. They put a fence here, a fence there, and in between they had dogs running, right? And what we used to do was we used to climb up, right? Throw a board across the Constantine wire they had there, right? And just like this, man, like this. We used to be like, yeah, and them dogs down there barking and shit. You know, and we go in and we bomb and shit, man. It's no big deal. And then, you know, there's other ways of getting in too, like climbing over through the train, coming in through where the train comes in. You know, that's how you get into the yards and shit.
If I do a wall and I do a train, I know the feeling is not the same. You know, you like doing a train, you got all of this adrenaline just flowing through you. I know, like, when I come home after doing a train, I can't go to sleep. You know, it's like I'm up till the next morning, and doing a wall, it's, you know, it's nothing. You can just take your time and just, that's it, I guess. You know, it's the adrenaline rush when you're doing trains. A wall, it's just, to me, it's nothing.
Even though shit doesn't run, you're still doing it. It doesn't run in the city and the passengers see it. It runs in magazines now if you wanted to. It runs, it's no more all city, it's all world, you know? Magazines is the line now. Who's the king of the line? Who got the most pieces in the magazine, you could say.
You see, the transit authority and the police and the vandal squad, they all understand the concept of fame. You know, what is really what drives a graffiti artist to go paint on a train. That's why, you know, as soon as you paint this train here, they'll wash that shit off tonight, if not tomorrow morning. That train won't run. All you're gonna have is your pictures and your memory of that night when you did it, if you're lucky enough to get out of there.
How dangerous is it?
Very dangerous, you know. Like, for instance, like if you're painting a train and you have to go underneath the train, you know it's parked there, but you don't know whether that train is going to start moving or not, you know. It just takes 1 second for the train to just start moving on you and just roll right over you. You might get into some really deep raid to where you have to like go all out and try and get away, and you can just, not realizing it, just run into an oncoming train, you know. So sometimes you're in positions like that.
You know, if you're gonna be an artist, man, don't be fooled by them drugs and shit, because drugs do stop you from doing what you really want to do. You know, I hear a lot of talk that, yeah, I smoke me a spliff, a blunt, a wooler, and I could get loose. Well, that's bullshit. You should see how clear you think and what you can come up with when your mind is straight. You know what I'm saying?
Drug addiction, poverty, and hopelessness pollute the hearts and minds of our communities. These almost inescapable evil forces affect our everyday lives. On this avenue, life and death walk a very thin line.
And as you see this, you learn more. You say to yourself, hey, they're putting this up here for a reason. For people like me, young kids that are growing up in the ghetto, to be able to say no to drugs. You could reach a lot of young teenagers with the message you're portraying here as in a drawing, and then they could imagine with their imagination, you know, to choose.
If you want to see messages in graffiti, look at some of the handball court walls where they talk about drugs. But it's done where you actually stop and, you know, you stop and you read it, because it does catch your eye. Really done beautiful.
I don't live in the suburbs. I live in this urban society, and this is a real painful reality of life in this neighborhood.
Living in the South Bronx, you know, broken family, welfare, all that shit, you know, those were my fucking options. I didn't have, you know, a trust fund for college or this or go to school and stuff like that. I didn't have shit. All I had was my graffiti, you know, and that shit pulled me through.
As Effects Crew began to evolve, the members began to express more of their own personal life experiences through their art.
You know, we do murals, man. We do a lot of rest in peace murals. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a message to the kids to let you know, yo, homeboy died, he got shot. Why did he get shot? Because of this society we live in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yo, you know, we're trying to be positive. We're trying to let people know that it's about doing the right thing. We're trying to reach out to that individual who believes as we believe that, yo, this is our world, this is our society, let's make it a better place. You know, we try to spread the message, you know, through our art.
In efforts to combat all the negativity associated with graffiti, it seems the Effects Crew has taken the initiative to give back to those communities plagued with violence and vandalism, using the spray can as a vehicle for communication and allowing graffiti to be viewed in a positive light. This is like little entrance, man, so when you come in, people know what time it is. They know that this is, you come into the home of a writer, man. Creative people live here, no question, straight from New York.
Pose, P-O-S-E, is the prophet of self-education, you know what I'm saying? So whatever I do, a lot of times when I paint, it's just not painting for graffiti's sake.
I want to like paint, and my paintings are like, yo, I want to give you something, man. I'm trying to give you something, man. More than just the artwork, man, to wake you up, man.
I can't think of a more pure form of art than graffiti, because you got artists that are in studios with heat, with perfect lighting, with their music playing, drinking wine, doing their shit. But when you look at graffiti, you got motherfuckers risking arrest or getting beat down or electrocuted or hit by a train or whatever have you to do their art in usually unfavorable conditions.
I think a lot of people from the outside might look at it and be like, oh, that shit's easy to do. I could pick up a spray can and do it. But nah, it's a lot deeper than that, man. It's a lot deeper than that. A lot of people underestimate the art form just due to the fact it's based on letters, because it's just the alphabet, you know, like anybody could take a letters and an alphabet. I write every day letters, but it's a whole lot deeper than that.
Graffiti's been preyed on by politicians as a token to get themselves in office, you could say, you know, wiping out graffiti, eliminating the sore, you know, on society that we would consider.
Most graffiti writers, man, you don't get a chance to actually hear them verbalize, but yo, there's a lot, man. A graffiti writer's mentality is a deep mentality, man. It's a mentality that's against a lot of things that are going on in the world, you know what I mean?
Europe is like a very international thing, because people started traveling a lot. I mean, they wanted to see what's going on in Paris, they wanted to see what's going on in Amsterdam. And that was actually a pretty positive thing. Lots of people got together who would never ever meet in their whole life. I mean, they had something in common. People from Finland meet people now from South Africa. People from Australia go to Ireland and meet people there. It's going to be like, it's pretty much a very international thing, traveling around, doing pieces there and there.
We got some FX members in San Juan, Puerto Rico, Rec and Ski, to be exact. And we decided to go out there, and we had a great time.
We lost in Puerto Rico. If I gotta get lost, this is the place to get lost in.
No doubt.
Land of muchachas and sunshine.
So, you know, we out here doing our thing. You know what I'm saying?
What's actually happening in Puerto Rico as far as graffiti?
Presently, there's a lot of envy going on amongst artists who recently started. Many of them know that I was one of the original writers who started graffiti here in San Juan. I'm one of the oldest writers, because I started back in 1982.
Who were some of your influences back then?
I was first influenced by Phase 2, who came to Puerto Rico to do a graffiti show. Ron was also one of the other people that influenced me.
What do you like about graffiti?
I've always been interested in the use of colors and the fame that comes with graffiti, and getting to meet other writers from other countries, and just getting involved with painting and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? It just grabs my attention, the colors, the style, everything that comes with it.
Here we see one of your pieces which has been influenced by the guys from Europe.
This style is really a new and innovative style. It has a lot to do with shades and shadows and different forms of lettering. And the way it actually looks really captures my attention. I'm trying to master the style as best I can. I really like it.
Says, it's Per, pick up the phone. Yo, Rob, we're gonna be picking up Don and Rush.
Famous graffiti writers travel from all over the world. Germany, Paris, London, Spain. They make the pilgrimage to New York to paint graffiti in the city that made it famous.
In Germany, how I came into graffiti?
Yeah.
Yo, I saw the movie Beat Street, the Wild Style in '85.
Yeah.
That's how I got into it. So this shit expressed me so much that I want to do the same like these guys here.
My first steps into graffiti was '89, when I saw the walls in my hometown Hamburg. And yeah, I started with two guys, Duke and Kevin. And yeah, we didn't know any other writers, but we bought some cans, went out at night, and yeah, and get busted.
Yeah, it was in '96 when Diamond Hesh was coming over for their second trip.
We had met him at the airport, and you know, we knew we were gonna do like this big project, you know what I'm saying? They like doing big productions, and they were positive thinking people, you know, so for us to collaborate on this wall, it had to be something, you know, positive. And everyone played a certain role in getting this wall done. You know, and the theme was anti-drugs.
One of the things that we do when we do these anti-drug murals, or when we do other murals, we always write some form of literature. Say, for instance, here when we did the Statue of Liberty wall holding on to the crack pipe, there's a little literature that I put together. As our city is condemned with a plague we most cannot understand, it's our children we worry about in this promising land. We struggle in this society to make ends meet, while the higher authorities, the benefits they reap. Who are the big willies that affect you and me? Well, it's not my neighbor, my brother, or the man down the street. It's the people to whom taxes you know you must pay, who will never put a stop to the drugs here today. You know, and the literature is basically to explain what the message of the wall is. Like the Statue of Liberty is crumbling and sinking into sand dunes. It's got to do with everything collapsing behind us, and we're the only ones shackled still trying to survive. So we thought of the character, and when Don threw it up on the wall, it basically portrayed us graffiti writers with a spray paint can in our hands, being shackled down, being held down from trying to express ourselves.
I learned a lot from painting with Diamond Hash. Those kids, they brought a whole new flavor to the scene. You know, I was just learning from them guys. You know, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. These kids are real talented. You know what I'm saying? They took it above and beyond the next level.
This is Stein from Hamburg, Germany. I'm Lumit from Munich, Germany. We're down in the Bronx with the FX crew painting a mural. My first question towards Stein is, what draws European to New York? Well, it's basically about the flavor. Coming back to New York means like coming back where the roots are of graffiti, coming back like where the flavor is, but also coming to this place to introduce a couple of new techniques, new styles we have in Europe. And that's like one of the main themes, like also we are here to cooperate with people from here, like people from the FX crew.
Yeah, I can show you some new sculptures I did. I think I will do this one here, up there, because it's a little bit from the top.
What are we doing over here today?
We're doing the FX boxing match. This is gonna be a ring right here. We're doing our names in perspective. It's not one of my choice things to do. I like to do my shit panel style. I don't really like to do it in perspective, floating, going this way and going that way, but I'm gonna try. I've done it before, and I don't really care for it, so see what happens. But it's gonna be fat. You can see some of the characters that are coming out. The crew is like the ring, like how Budweiser be sponsoring Tyson fights. Maybe we draw a few fucking chewed up ears on the ground. We'll hook it up.
We happen to be one of the stronger crews, basically, because we're well-rounded off. We got people in the crew that are talented in all areas. And we have strong people in the graph world in different parts of the world that are down with the crew.
Connections are being made and bonds are being formed. I guess you can call it the calm before the storm. You see, European writers have been traveling to New York for years to do graffiti, but there was something extraordinary about the connection between Dime, Hesh, and Lumit from Germany and the entire FX crew.
This the shit we getting ready to blow up from end to end.
Let's see, we're off the background construction.
Styles began to evolve, and concepts for walls were planned with the skills of an architect.
I make it a point to try to get the written consent and stuff like that. And
how is that done? How do you get a wall?
Getting a wall consists of tracking down the property owner, because presently here in New York they're cracking down on giving permission for walls. The mayor's on quality of life. They don't want graffiti. To us, this is really an art form. We would call this aerosol art. I mean, if we did this with a paintbrush, I think that then we would be called artists. But why are we not called artists? Because of the tool that we use to express our art form.
If you have this going up to here, you can do some really good shit.
You know what I mean?
Like what you showed me with, like Don showed me with the squares. Do this in a square maybe up here.
That's interesting, but is this, the rest of this, interesting to take up this like block long wall?
The best thing you can do is be creative. This is the positive thing about graffiti. It's not important if you are creative on a train or a wall. The thing is that if you are creative, then at these jobs you often try something new. So you're planning a whole wall with background and maybe with some characters and you know, with shadows and light.
I usually do it more or less for the fun and for the fact that going up to a blank wall, painting it for a while, stepping back and looking at something that wasn't there, you know, a day before. To me, that's really satisfying. But to have somebody come up from like the Midwest or some shit like that, or from Europe or from New York or from Pennsylvania or whatever, it doesn't matter. When they come up to you and they're like, yo, you know, you influenced me, now I want to do artwork, you know, that's a good thing, you know? They're not out there robbing people and doing stupid ass shit, because there's plenty of that going on, and it's dumb. It's better to go out there and create and to make a mark, not only in your neighborhood or something, but on the world. If you don't agree with something, you should go and express it. I happen to find a medium that I'm really happy in, and that's art.
Graffiti is just so much a part of my life that it's just like, you know, it shows in just about everything that I do, you know. I mean, I'm not saying I look like a graffiti artist, I mean, who does? But the fact that it's, you know, it's in my house, it's you know, it's in my mind all the time. Just that's really where I focus a lot of my time and spent a lot of my life doing graffiti, you know, doing what I like to do. I'm into doing big things now, big production type pieces and murals with meaning and you know, just with thought, you know, not just some ignorant stuff. But most of all, from the letters on out, from the style on out, it's basically the background complementing the style. That's how I look at it, because without the letters, you know, we can go to any art school and have any kid go paint a wall. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're coming from this area out, which is graffiti history out, which is based on letters, based on style.
What would you say are some of the positive things that you've been able to do with graffiti? Well, I started a magazine, which that's positive. I make some money. I pretty much live off of it now, you know. I started a mail order business, which is doing really good now. I'm trying to get into, you know, just into other things, other positive things.
Yeah, we got the flashbacks on the house, you know what I'm saying? This is the magazine that's gonna kick up the urban art and make things real, you know what I'm saying?
A lot of people may not understand what graffiti in the ghetto actually is. My interpretation and my meaning of that, it's something that comes from within, from the person. Different people do it for different reasons. I basically like the recognition behind it. I like the acceptance it gave me with a certain group of guys behind it. I liked the attention, you know, aside from the fame, the attention that came behind knowing how to draw people's names and putting your name all over the place. FX is something like the graffiti all-stars, you could say. You know? I mean, there's a lot of other people that are good out there, don't get me wrong. But being that everyone already had a prior history, that's the people that were good, that got put on, were choice people. You know, you had to have skills and you had to be painting, you had to be pretty good, and this was sort of like some of the criteria to get down with the crew.
See my rhyme move. I rock your body to my lips tap. I don't need your instrumental. I can do your on for 8-track. I tell them I'm making a record, they say don't bother. Now them same folks want my autograph and $5. Your style's older than mash. Hey yo, I write so much shit. This one the pin was up my ass. nice as bending grass at the accident. Sweeping all you maggots like a janitor's broom. It seems I made a hit with the albums out the living room. Hell no, I don't rhyme like you. Cause your style is older than the summer of 82. Hey, hey, hey.
When we do artwork for people, we call it aerosol advertisement, which is a new form of advertisement, rather than to call it graffiti. Because the minute we say graffiti, everyone thinks it's going to get scribbled on. Everybody thinks it's going to be vandalized, it's going to be written on, or whatever have you. And they completely negatively knock it down. It's incredible the stuff that's been getting done with spray paint. It's beyond people's imagination. No one ever thought it would influence society to this extreme, but it is.
I get paid to paint, which is real cool, because that's kind of the key to life, is getting paid for what you love to do.
We're here at Todd McFarlane's toy showroom. It's in New York, and Todd McFarlane is the creator of Spawn, the comic, the HBO series, the movie, and the action figures. Some of the murals here that I did were to enhance the different display areas for the different action figure toy lines that he does. This is the Kiss Psycho Circus. This here is a office for the showroom, and it's really not used year-round, but it's for sales reps when they have meetings out here. So we just decided to put some of the more popular characters from the comic up here just to kind of give it the Spawn effect. This is Angela character. And over on this wall is the Maldosia, Spawn's nemesis. This is Todd McFarlane's classic monster recreations that he does. This is his toy line. And this back here is like a castle. And as you can see, I worked together in conjunction with the artist who created the sets here. I did the backdrop just to give it some depth. It took about a little bit over an hour to do.
So how does this tie into graffiti, the work that you've done here at Spawn?
Well, I have a friend of mine who introduced me to the people from Spawn, and they took a look at some of the walls we had done, the FX Productions, and they liked the work, and they decided to hire me to do backdrops. So it's just another example of, you know, the positive influence that you can have coming out of graffiti and into art. Not to say that I'm ever going to leave graffiti, but you know, it's all about evolution. You know, even every artist, every person evolves, and this is just an example of that evolution from a street art form which had many stigmas attached to it, to a legitimate art form used by professionals and in the industry.
I live to create, you know, and fortunately my creativity has given me the opportunity to start a business for myself. I have a small manufacturing firm, and we manufacture fraternity and sorority goods, from wall plaques to clocks. We sell merchandise to stores throughout the country. We do trade shows throughout the country, and it's been very, very rewarding, you know. I mean, I'm able to take care of my family, raise my children, and what have you, off of what I do. So I'm very, very satisfied.
My name is Mo Percan. This is my place, All-in-One Auto Parts.
Why did you put this type of work on the building?
Well, number one, I like the way it looks. I like the artwork. I think it's very detailed. I appreciate it. A lot of people appreciate it. I've had numerous number of people stop by and take a look and see what it is and who did it, and people really are interested. And I like the attention. It's an eye catcher, and people stop right away, and that's what I want. I want people to stop. They start off looking at the painting, and the next thing you know, they come in to buy a part.
There was a graffiti art show in a gallery. Did you go to it? An art gallery?
Yes, I would. It's like any other art. It's different. You got to analyze it. There's meaning to everything that you see, like any other artwork. And these guys, honestly, if they market themselves properly, they can go a long way. You know, there's definitely a future in this.
How'd you like their art gallery show in Manhattan?
It's good. It's definitely good. And you know, it was rare to see an artist painting live in front of you. You know, a lot of times you just see the finished product on the wall, and we had Percess and Lumit side by side, knocking out some canvases in front of the gallery, and it was interesting to see the art take form in front of me. You know, to see as they started, as they were working, and then the finished result on canvas.
Wish like more people get hooked on like the art side on graffiti, because that's really something you can make something out of it. I mean, it gives you satisfaction, it gives you reputation, it gives you everything. I mean, and I hope like lots of people here, especially from these areas, from the Bronx, since you have so much space around here and so many people who like might influence you or give you an idea how the whole thing works. I hope a lot of these kids who get raised around here, they really get the hook on it and try to do something creative.
So you like writing graffiti?
Yeah. I like writing and playing around. I wrote this.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And I like drawing stuff like this.
So how long you been drawing?
Since I was a little kid, I just do a scribble, then my brother taught me how to draw better, then he taught me how to graffiti a little.
Yeah.
And your bikes, look at them, getting down. That's it. That's our future, getting mobile. You gotta ride in style, you know?
The forefathers of this art form have laid the foundation and created the blueprints for all the lettering techniques done today. Although many new artists have come on the scene with fact backgrounds, this, that, and the third, the forefathers of pioneers will always be revered as the masters of style. We're just the new kids on the block, taking it to the next level.
What you got happening here is things to come. See, they fucking it up for us here, man, on Earth. We can't tag the trains, so we figure we're gonna put them in space. We're gonna get busy up there, cause see, you can't put no fences in space.
Graffiti, everybody does graffiti. Everybody's trying to make their mark in life. The only difference is we use spray paint, and they hate us for it.
As the scale of murals continue to get larger, I'm sure FX is going to be a part of, you know, bringing you some of the bigger things you see in New York right now. They've taken bigger visions and brought them to walls. You know, some of their designs are complex. I get feedback from some of our readers at the source, and people are blown away by some of the 3D stuff they're doing and some of the theme walls, some of the collaboration stuff they're doing.
What's going on with the wall here?
Conceptually coming from the head, you know, LA meets New York with some European writers and European paint. So that combination is deadly out here.
What's going on with the wall, Mir?
We're bringing in like the graph elements of the West Coast. Right here in the city of New York, we got the city building up out of the center. We got like homeboy shit like flying in from like Europe kinda. And it's just like putting the whole world in a perspective, you know, like capturing this shit.
Happy with the wall?
Yeah, we're just started, so.
Is that a German technique you're putting on that wall?
Maybe it's, but in general I would say techniques should be for everyone. And everyone should train them and use them, actually.
This is something that we give from our heart and soul to everybody else out there for free. This is like, yo, a gift that we giving. Yo, here, check this out. This is for you. But still, we get kicked to the curb. Society wants to, like, label us as villains and outlaws, you know? In essence, it's just young kids expressing themselves, man. Just expressing themselves.
Smothers, ghettos, gutters, competition. I cut through box cutters, it's the blast from the past. You deep in their ass, KSOLO, and then we up to mash. Mics I touch, never get cold. I can make 5 platinum hits, cause I already struck gold. It's the diamond, climbing, rhyming, perfect timing, designing my autograph, my graffiti. I'm designing in the line on the top 10 men. I'm at the end yelling, they get with the hands of my shitty chin chin. On in to win, blaze tracks like John Lennon, Venom. Go on at a bullet at my first weekend. Seen the source, of course. Headlines read, they don't call them solo for nothing. We still coming off while these driving the truck, mom's driving the boss. Solo did it this way, cause I'm the boss. I'm in your system. I'm in your system. Way back then, Kevin Madison was riding his bike, doing it pop with my cousin and friends. So was always in my household, and I was raised to be a figure who rapped on the stage, and here's the way my story goes. My mom had a flow, me too. She rocked suede, bell bottoms, favorite color was brown and blue. Afro Sheen was always on the scene, and Dax was stacking medicine cabinets from front to back. Mom straight and comb was black when they got H.O.T. hot. They kept my sister 7 tanks, she also kept my throat neat. With the blowout kit from Proline, so my flow flew with the wind reach. The odds of K's, but the soul rich around Trio Street, complete and unique. No sleep shafts, my legacy. Now who's Afro blows 360 degrees? K Solo, the lights connection, I'm in your system. I'm in your system. My rhyme sound off town, but the drums I had to come with, had to come real smooth, like Motown. There ain't no other MC. And yo, in the street you bought it NEW till I brought my legacy shaft. And now you know the half, those who won't catch on quick. Some regret left in the past. My presidents felt like a child gets beat with a belt from his parents, but I will leave welts. Your mind's in harm, but your body's forced to take a trip with me through the venue. And this is the boss, as I be wearing it down and tearing it down and hearing the sound.
I remember that time when the Graffiti Hall of Fame was getting put together by Ezo and Party. We were one of the crews that was definitely invited to go and participate to this powerful movement. People from all eras of graffiti were invited to this movement. We had crews that were just recognized worldwide in the graffiti movement in New York, and they were all collaborating, coming together to make one movement. And FX was honored to be invited and participate as one of the main crews to blow up one of the spots. So that just told us that people were admiring some of the stuff that FX was doing, and they started to recognize. And I think we did do our end of representing.
This motherfucker in this whole graph game. Just like he destroys shit, I destroy shit. That's why we call the graffiti monsters, because we destroy shit just like Godzilla destroys shit.
This is what happens when you train your troopers correctly. This is what we call gods of destruction, right here.
In the baddest times of Munich City, they do trains there, and for making sure that the train is running, they cut off the cable of the walkie-talkies in the trains, you know, of the other trains. Only in that train that they paint, they don't cut it off, so the train has to run, because the other trains are broken.
I think it's much harder in Europe to do trains than in New York. In Europe, you have cops and all this stuff.
I cannot really understand the authorities who are trying to work against it.
We're only hurting ourselves, you know. If I fall off a bridge, I die, you know. I'm not out here like driving around drunk and shit, risking other people's life. You know, I'm right here just like doing my own thing. It's like, I've always been an artist, you know, so like this is the only way I feel like I can express my art that's like real good, you know. Okay. Like, I mean, I could express it other ways, which I am later on, but right now this is like just a fun way of expressing it in another form.
What are some of the risks involved with doing this graffiti thing out here in California, out here in LA?
The biggest risk out here is like, you know, the gangbangers, you know, pretty much the cops you don't have to worry about. You can get away from cops, you only have to worry about the ghetto bird, the helicopter, because once that shows up, it's pretty much over with.